Hello everyone and welcome to episode 15 of Remaking Cavestory in C++. This is the HUD part 2. I'm Limeoats, my website's limeoats.com, my Twitter is @limeoats, my GitHub is here, and my subreddit is here. So this is a continuation of the last episode. If you remember from last time, we focused on getting the health bar to show up and the number of how much health we have. So let me run what we have, just so we can see. And there it is. We have our health bar. We have the number in there, 3. We also set up how much health the player has to start with, and all of that. So that's good. So now we're going to move on to part 2. And what are we going to do in part 2? We need to finish up the HUD. So we're going to put an EXP bar for our gun experience. If you're familiar with Cavestory, there are no levels. The player doesn't level up, the guns level up, or the weapons, I should say. So we'll put the bar for that, we'll put the number for that. Whoops. Some gun information. Right now we don't have a gun, we don't have any weapon, so it's just going to be dashes. You'll see what I mean. Eventually that'll be replaced by numbers, but for now, dashes. And the current health bar. So there's a bar on top of the health bar we already have, a lighter red, that shows how full it is, or how much health we have. So, yeah. Let us look at the details. So the details are just a bunch of positions and widths and stuff. We have our health bar sprite. We have our current health bar. Wait, we already have health bars, right? We don't need that again. We have current health bar. We have the level word. There's a little LV word for level. That's just got to go in there. The level number, the EXP bar itself. Then there's a slash and dashes, which you'll see what that means in just a second. So how are we going to do this? Pretty much just like last time, except a few little things. First, we have to fix the FPS. It was brought to my attention on Reddit that in episode 3, I believe, when I set up the max frame time and all of that, I remember confusing myself while I was writing it and saying, let me open it up, saying that it's 5 times 1000 times FPS, or divided by FPS, but I couldn't remember why I had this 5 in here, and there's no reason for it. The calculation is wrong with it, so let's delete it. Okay, deleted, run it. It should still run pretty much the same, but that's the correct max frame time. There we go. Much better. Okay, so sorry about that. I don't know why I did that, but it happens. Alright, so that's the first thing. Then next up, what is this? Eclipse error reporting? Get out of here. Alright, next up, we're going to implement set source_rect W and set source_rect H in our sprite class. So if you remember last time, we made a set source_rect X and set source_rect Y. Now we have to do it for width and height as well. So just go ahead and do that. Just like that. It's the same exact stuff as usual. Just implement it really quickly. So we have our W and our H now that we can set, and we're going to need that later for our health bar. So let's start with getting some of these things on the screen. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put right here in HUD.h, we're going to make a new sprite. It's going to be called current health bar. I'm going to put a comment here saying health sprites. We're going to have a bunch of different sprites here, so I want to separate them all nicely. So current health bar, where is that? Well, according to my notes, it's at an x of 0 and a y of 25. So current health bar equals sprite graphics content sprites text box .png. So 0, 25, and I'm going to open it up for you so you can see why, just to reiterate what I'm doing here. I'm not going to go through this for all of them, but I'll show you for this one. So 0, this is the bar right here, this lighter red bar. It obviously starts at x of 0 and it starts at a y of 25 pixels. So that's why it's 0, 25. Then I have a width of 39 and a height of 5 pixels. And then an x and y position of 83 and 72 on the screen. Okay. So once that's done, we can go down to our draw and draw it, just like all the rest of our sprites. Okay, and now if you run it, we should now see, it's taking a very long time for me to run each time. We now see a nice lighter red bar on top of the dark red bar. So now what we want to do is we actually want to change it depending on what our health is. So right now it's at 100%. We have a max health of 3 and a current health of 3. So it's at 100%, so the bar is full. But when we're at 2 out of 3 health, for example, the bar should be about here. So all that requires is a small calculation. So we'll do that in update. So I'll say calculate the width of the health bar. And a note, 100% is 39 pixels. The bar itself is 39 pixels wide, and that's 100% of the bar. So that's what we have to use in our calculation. So I'm going to say float num equals casting to a float our current health. If we don't cast it to a float first, integer division will happen and we will get 0 every time. And we don't want that. We want a decimal. So current health divided by max health. So if I have 2 out of 3 health, 2 divided by 3 is like 0.66 something. So again, if I didn't cast it to a float first, it would do integer division on it and we would just get 0. So, but we want the 0.66 because we're going to then say current health bar dot set source rect w. We're going to change the width of our bar to the std floor of num, which is our 0.66 if it's 2 out of 3 health, for example, times 39. And that'll give us the correct percentage of the bar in pixels. And that should work. So if we run our game, we have 3 out of 3 health, it's full, like usual. But now, if I was to go into player.cpp and change this to current health of 2, well, what we get is that the bar is now 2/3 instead of full. And also, if I change it to 1, we'll see that it's now 1/3, and if I change it to 0, it'll go down to the bottom. Because it's just taking the correct percentage of that bar. Alright? So we'll put it back at 3, full health. Excellent. So that's how we have our health bar move. So once we get hurt, it'll automatically go down to the next one, and that's good. Alright, so back to HUD. What's next on the list? Next up is our EXP sprites. So first we have our level word, which is this right here, LV. We're going to get that on the screen in a certain spot. Then we have level number, which is just like our health number. And we have EXP bar, which is our yellowish bar here, this ugly brownish yellow. So I already calculated out all the positions and everything. That's all in this details stuff here. So we're just going to implement it pretty quickly. You can look back at the notes, look at the sprite sheet, and try to figure out why everything's where it is. But yeah, it's all pretty much straightforward because it's all really the same thing over and over, just for different positions, different sprites. So first up is level word equals sprite graphics content sprites textbox.png. And according to my notes, we have an x of 81, a y of 81, a width of 11, a height of 7, and a screen position of 3855. I'll draw everyone one at a time so we can look at it grow. Now, if you're not familiar with the HUD from Cavestory, you won't really know what to expect, but if you are, you'll start to remember and see how this all makes sense. So right there's our little LV. That's for the gun level. For some reason my game just crashed. Did I do something bad? What did I do? No, it's okay. Alright. That was just close being stupid. Alright. I wanted to make sure I didn't have an infinite loop somewhere that I didn't notice. Next up, we have level number, which we're just going to have that 0 for now because we don't actually have a gun yet, so there is no gun experience. But I want to get the number up there. So level number is at an x of 0, 56, 8, and 8, just like our health number above. Then for our position, we have 66 and 52. Okay. And then I'll draw that. Now I could probably condense this by putting all of these into a list and doing a for loop through them so I don't have this massive draw. Might do that in the future, just make it all look nicer, but I'm not too worried about it right now. Alright, so now we have a nice little 0 appearing above the 3. It looks like the 0 is actually on top of the 3, which is a problem. So to fix that, we'll just raise it up a little. Change the y to 50. See how that looks. Still looks like it's above 3 for some reason. About 48. Oh, okay, I see the problem. Changing back to 52. The problem is that for some reason I put level word here instead of level number. So it was taking the 55, which was pushing it down a little bit and putting it on top of the 3. 52 is the right number. So now it's drawing correctly and it looks good. Alright. So next up, we have the EXP bar. Graphics, text bar. And this, according to the notes, is at 0.72 on the sprite sheet. It has a width of 40 and a height of 8. And on the screen, it's going to go to 83.52. I'll draw that. Okay. And now what we're going to see is our EXP bar. And there it is, the little brownish yellow bar next to the level stuff. That looks good. So last but not least, we have a slash and some dashes. Now, if I show you this is what it's supposed to look like. This is from the real Cavestory. So we have this dash and we have this slash and we have these dashes that need to go up there. The dashes will be replaced by numbers in the future. The slash is just there to separate some stuff. So let's draw those in. Go to HUD.h. This is all gun related stuff, so I'm gonna say weapon info, sprite slash sprite dashes. It's that simple. So let's look at those in the sprite sheet briefly. This is the slash right here, and these are the dashes. We're gonna draw all the dashes together. It's okay for now. We might need to separate them later. We actually probably will at some point, but for now we're just gonna draw them all together. It's fine. So I'm gonna say slash equals sprite graphics. At what point will I copy and paste this instead of typing it every time? On the sprite sheet, it's at an x of 72 and a y of 48. It's 8 pixels wide and 8 pixels high. And on the screen, it's going to go to 136. And I'm just going to do the dashes at the same time. Nothing really to see. It's all that exciting to do them separately. So now we have an x of 81, a y of 51 on the sprite sheet. 15 pixels wide, 11 pixels high. And on the screen, they're going to go to 132.26. Okay. Now I just need to draw them, and we'll be done. So slash.draw. Okay. Build that. Make sure it all builds. My Eclipse is being very slow today for some reason. Run it, and we see the slash and the dashes looking perfect. Alright, that's our HUD for right now. It's a good starting point. We have everything really we need for right now. We don't have guns or anything, so we don't need anything else. Alright, so that's it. Let's talk about next time. Notes for me. No. Next time. We're going to do something interesting next time. We are going to finally go through the door at the top of the map. So build the next map. I'm going to do it on my own. And then you can take my TMX file. Or if you want, you can play the real Cavestory, get to the second map, and build it yourself. But that's a lot of work. It's going to take a very long time. I don't want to do it in a video because it'll just be like 2 hours of me messing around in Tile trying to build this map, which won't be fun. So I'll build that and then I'll upload it to GitHub and you can just download it and use it. And then we're going to make it so that we can finally go through that door and end up in the second map from the first map. And that'll be fun. To do that, we're going to actually make something entiled that we're going to technically collide with. We're not actually going to like change the player's position or anything when we collide. It'll just be I guess a silent collision that'll tell us that we're colliding with the door. And then it'll tell us even more data about the door, as in where to go from there. And then we'll go through. So it'll be a good episode. Lots of fun stuff going on. So make sure you check that out. Again, this was episode 15, the HUD part 2. We're done with the HUD for right now. I'm Limeoats. My website is limeoats.com. It was just redone, so you should go check it out. It looks good. Twitter at Limeoats. Follow me there. Give me any questions you have, and I will answer them. It's the best way to get my attention quickly. My GitHub link is here. You're going to need that to get the next map file, and all of this code will be there too. Subreddit, good place for discussions, asking questions. There are a lot of questions either I can't answer because I don't use Windows or something like that, but other people are having the same problems and fixing them and posting about it. So definitely check that out. Subscribe there. It's a good place for all sorts of different resources related to this. And of course, subscribe if you want to this YouTube channel so you find out when I post new videos. And yeah, thank you all for watching.